What's going on, everyone? Mitesh here, and Google just dropped a whole bunch of new features for their Pixel lineup of phones, and in this video I'm going to be going over all those new features and how you can make best use of them. So without further ado, let's talk about them. Alright, so before we get into talking about all the features, I do want to let you know that these features will be coming to you if you have a Pixel 3 and higher phone. And not all of these features are coming to all the phones. In fact, there's a couple that are limited to just the Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5, but most of these are coming to phones going all the way back to the Pixel 3. The Pixel 2 is not getting any of these new features. It is getting this new update with the December security update, and it will be the last update that the Pixel 2 will get, but none of these new features are going to come to the Pixel 2 owner. So if you have a Pixel 2 phone, first of all, since this is the last update for your phone, you may want to consider upgrading your phone if it's, especially if it's like starting to get low on battery and things like that. You may want to consider upgrading it, but if it's still working well, it's really kind of hard to see why you'd want to. But anyways, without further ado, let's just talk about the features. All right, guys, so let's talk about some of these new features. And we're gonna start off by talking about the most basic one, and that is home screen customization. So what this lets you do is it lets you have a little bit more things to customize your home screen with. And first of all, is if you jump into the styles page, you'll notice that you have a new option here down here called grid. So here it'll let you choose the grid size, although sadly you can only choose a smaller grid size if you want. You have no option to select a bigger grid size. So like, for example, if you want a 10 by 10 grid size and if you want really tiny icons, you can't do that. Here you're stuck with either a 4 by 4, a 3 by 3, or a ridiculous 2 by 2 grid size. Like, take a look at this thing. Look at how ridiculously big these icons are. Let's go ahead and change that back to default. So default is 5 by 5, but if you want a bigger grid, if you're someone who wants less icons on your home screen, you can do that. I want more icons. But the other thing that we also have is some new wallpapers. We have some new Mandalorian wallpapers. If you're into the Mandalorian, you want that sweet, sweet goodness, or you want Baby Yoda on your phone, you got them. It's just a nice little addition, just some more wallpapers. They also have these new ones from the Google Culture app, so you can have some classic paintings as your wallpapers. I would say it looks pretty nice. It's a nice little addition. But yeah, those are some small things that you can do in customization. And this one's coming all the way from Pixel 3 onward, so that's just a nice little neat little feature that's coming out. Now the next feature I want to demonstrate is actually not available on the My Pixel 4a. It is, however, available on My Pixel 4. So this is My Pixel 4, and the new feature is called Hold For Me. And this thing, what it does, it lets Google Assistant wait on hold for you. Like, you guys know, when you call anybody these days, especially when you call a company, you are stuck on hold for long periods of time. So with this new feature, Google Assistant can wait for you, and then when somebody jumps on the call, it will actually alert you. So you don't have to like just sit there just listening to that terrible, awful waiting music. Instead, you can just put it down and wait for Google Assistant to tell you, hey, somebody's on the line for you. So this one is rolling out to everyone along with the December update. So if you have a Pixel 3 or newer, you will have this, but it won't be turned on by default, and it's rolling out server side, so you may not get it. For example, I have it on my Pixel 4, don't have it on my Pixel 4a. I don't think my wife has it on her Pixel 3 yet, but it is going to be coming soon to everybody. So I do have it in this phone, so I can go ahead and show you guys how to turn it on. So it is going to show up as a new setting under the assisted dialing. You see this new one called Hold For Me. When you click on it, it'll show you see when your assistant can wait on hold for you. Now, I did take a little video of this, so I'll show you guys that right now, but it's a really cool feature where Google Assistant will wait on hold for you. Like yesterday, I was stuck 50 minutes on hold with my internet company because I just moved and I had to cancel my old one plan, and I just got stuck on hold forever, and this feature really helped me out with that. So there you guys have it. That is a awesome new feature that is coming exclusively to Pixel phones. And yeah, if you have a Pixel phone, you should definitely make use of this because it's just a really, really nice feature. Okay, so the next feature that I want to talk about is the extreme battery saver mode. And what this lets you do is, just like the regular old battery saver mode that's been around forever, this thing is going to let you save on battery life a lot. So you can go up to the battery setting here, and here under adaptive battery, here under battery saver, you'll find a new one called Extreme Battery Saver, the top option. Right now mine is set to never use, but what you can set it to is you can set it to ask every time, so that you can it'll ask you every time to be used or not, or always use. And then here you'll decide what apps are essential to you. So when Extreme Battery Saver is on, only the apps that you've designated essential will continue working in the background. Like, every single other app will be paused, so you will not get any notifications. So for example, if you don't put Gmail is a list of essential apps, you will get no email notifications. If you don't put phone, now I think phone works automatically, but if you don't put your messaging app as a default app, it won't message you. So let's find a messages app. Messages, okay, it's a system app, so that one's on by default. For example, that's a good one. But if you're someone who uses something else, let's say you use WhatsApp a lot. So we'll go down to WhatsApp, I'll make that an essential app so that when I turn on Extreme Battery Saver, that one will continue work, but everything else will just be absolutely stopped in the background. It's actually kind of a really nice feature, and they say it will really extend out your battery life, and it makes sense to me, especially when you're just killing everything in the background. So that's a nice little feature, and it's up to you how you want it to turn on. So I have this thing ask me every time, so not every time that my phone goes to 20% or 30% that I want Extreme Battery Saver to be turned on, but when I choose for it, I do want it to be turned on. So I have it set to ask me every time. You can have it set to always use if you want to always use it, or never if you just don't ever want to use Extreme Battery Saver. So that's another neat little feature that's coming out to all Android devices or all Pixel devices, Pixel 3 and up. Another new feature that's coming out to Pixel 4 and up phones is what's called adaptive charging. So this is another awesome little feature to help you save on battery life. So if you click on adaptive battery, if you have a Pixel 4 and higher phone, you'll have this new option called adaptive charging. So what this does is it can steadily charge overnight to preserve your long-term battery life. So if you're charging overnight and it has that super fast charging that your phones can do, well, this one will charge it very slowly and it'll keep it like to 80% until it knows you're about to wake up. So if it uses your alarm to know when you're gonna wake up, and then before that, it'll go ahead and completely charge it up. So you can get to 100%, but you don't have to keep it at 100% all night long, which will really help out your battery life. It'll extend it so that in 2 years, your battery life won't be absolutely terrible. So this is a nice little feature. I've seen other phones have it, like Sony phones have definitely had this feature before, so it's really nice to see it built into Pixel phones as well. There are a couple other features that I don't have on any of my phones that are exclusive to the Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5, and that is adaptive sound. So what that does is it analyzes the sound around you and then changes the speaker so that the speaker sounds better depending on the environment you're in. I don't have this feature, so I can't tell you how good it is, but yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. They also have a new feature called adaptive connectivity, and that one is exclusive to Pixel 4a, 5G, and Pixel 5 because what it does is it lets you switch between 5G and 4G in the background. So it automatically switches depending on what task you're doing. So for example, if you're just browsing the web, if you're just like reading something on the web, it'll go down to 4G. But if you're downloading a big file or a big movie, it'll go ahead and go to 5G so you can get that faster data. So it's a way to save battery life and to just, yeah, that's pretty much it. It'll save battery life and just smartly use whatever is available. There's actually a feature that's available on the new iPhones as well. iPhones will always tell you you're on 5G, but then they'll use 4G for certain tasks in the background. So yeah, it's an interesting little thing, and it's available now if you have the Pixel 4a 5G or the Pixel 5. All right, so next up, I want to talk about a new feature for Now Playing. So Now Playing is just always listening and telling you what the songs are that are playing in background. But what you can do now with this is you can turn it into a playlist. So for example, let's say you liked some song that you heard before, like this one or this one, whatever it is, and you decide, hey, I want to turn this into a playlist. So you can click on that, and you can click on Add to Playlist, and just start a new playlist. I'll just call it Test, or Tessie, as I'm apparently typing, and you just created a playlist. So let's see. So if I go over to YouTube Music now, Library, not now, Playlist, and I have a new one called Tessie, which has all the songs that I selected, and they've just become a playlist. So that's a nice little feature if if you've really heard some songs around you that you really like. I mean, these days it's a little hard for me to use this feature because I'm home almost all of the time. But if, for example, when the pandemic is over and you're going to coffee shops and you hear a song you like, first of all, this thing will identify it for you. And now if you're using YouTube Music, it will actually let you add it to a playlist. So that's kind of a nice little feature. I don't know if I'll use it that much, but it's kind of nice to have. Oh, and another feature I want to mention, something that it's such a small feature, but I really like, is the fact that screenshots are so much faster. So I don't know if you guys remember, but before this update, when you hit the volume down and power button, it took a screenshot, but it was always a little slow to do it. But now, when you hit those buttons, it takes an instantaneous screenshot, like just immediately takes a screenshot. So that's actually a really nice little handy feature. So if you're trying to screenshot, especially something inside of like a video or something, it's pretty nice to have. And yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the new features that are available with the December update. For me, definitely the Hold For Me and Extreme Battery Saver are the two features that I really like. Small things like screen customization. I mean, I personally use Nova Launcher, so I have plenty of screen customization that way, but if you are someone who's rocking the Pixel launcher, it's nice to have some more options. All right, so there you guys have it. That is a quick little look at all of the features that are coming to your Pixel phones. I think there's some pretty nice ones, especially that Hold For Me feature. That thing is awesome and only something that really Google can do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you guys loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.